I'm going to show you a fairly easy way to think your way around the guitar neck and not get lost. And I know there's a lot of tutorials out there showing you all of these different patterns, all of these different scales and modes, but all of that can be rather daunting. So I'm going to show you a really simplistic way to think your way around the neck and be able to play lead anywhere. So let's get started. Now this system is not unique to me per se. It's kind of based on the cage system, but the cage system works in 5 movable chords that you can move around the neck, but there are some that really don't make sense to me. For example, this G chord. Moving this G chord around the neck really doesn't make sense because I can't make a full G chord somewhere up the neck. So I really only think in 3 chords. Instead of 5, I'm only really thinking in 3. And if you get stuck or you're struggling moving up and down the neck and remembering all these scales, all these patterns, all these modes, this is a really simple way to think about it because I only have one pattern associated with each of the 3 chord shapes, and 2 patterns are the same. So it is a really easy way for beginners, a really simplistic way to start moving around the neck. Now, should you learn all the scales and all the patterns? Yes, you probably should, but you have to start somewhere, and this is a really simplistic way to start. And it starts with some very easy chords that we all know. For example, this A chord. This A chord can be moved anywhere on the neck, and we've talked about that before. And I associate a pattern with this A shape. So anywhere that I can play this A shape, I can play this pattern. And this pattern is your major pentatonic. So whatever scale you're in, wherever you're playing this A shape, that is going to be your major pentatonic pattern. So, for example, if I take this A shape and I move it up to the 5th fret, I get a C chord. And right here I can play my C major pentatonic. Or if I move it up to the 7th fret, I get a D chord and I can play my D major pentatonic. So anywhere I can play this A shape, I can use that pattern and I can play the major pentatonic. Now, another chord that is movable around the neck and easy to play is your F shape. Now, whether you think of it as an E or an F, it doesn't matter. It's the same place you would play your bar chord, but you can also play an F chord, and I do that so I can have a free finger to do other things with, and we've talked about that before. But if I take this F shape and I move it up to the 5th fret, this is also an A chord. And from here, I can play the same exact pattern that I was playing down here, but I'm playing it up here around this F shape, and now I get the minor pentatonic. So down here where this A shape was, I play that same pattern. I get the major pentatonic. Up here, I get the minor pentatonic. So anywhere I can play this F shape or my bar chord, that gives me my minor pentatonic. And the other chord that I tend to think about is this D chord. This D chord is movable anywhere on the neck. So if I move it up here to the 9th and the 10th fret, I get an A chord again, just like these two. And I can play what a lot of people call the B.B. King box. So it's this pattern. So anywhere that I play that D chord, I can play that B.B. King box. So this is 3 different places on the neck that you can play an easy to remember pattern that is associated with a chord. So how does this work? Well, let's say I wanted to get up the guitar neck and I'm in the key of A. Well, I know right here I can play my major pentatonic, I can slide up to my 5th fret, I can play my minor pentatonic, and then I can slide up here where I would play my D chord and I can play my B.B. King box. Now, what if I wanted to go further up the neck? Well, after the 12th fret, it just starts over. So I can come up here to the 14th fret. That's the same shape as my A chord. Just moved up to the 14th fret. And again, I can play my major pentatonic. Coming up here, I can play my minor pentatonic. And it would just continue to go. Now what if I wanted to play in a different key? Well, let's say I wanted to play in C. Well, I'm going to find where I can play my A chord, my A shape, which is here on the 5th fret, which we mentioned earlier. And I can play my major pentatonic. I can come up here to the 8th fret where I play my F shape, and that's where I get my minor pentatonic. And then my D shape would be up here around the 12th and 13th fret. And that's where I can play my B.B. King box. So this gives you 3 different places in any key to be able to play lead and move up and down the neck. Now as you do this, you'll start seeing these chord shapes. And that's the hardest part about this, is remembering where these chord shapes are on the neck. So that's really the trick to this, is practicing these movable chord shapes. From there, you have the same pattern to give you major or minor, and then you have your B.B. King box. And this will allow you to play up and down the neck. And as you begin to do this more and more, then you'll start to see that these patterns connect. Now obviously, you want to learn your minor pentatonic around this A shape and not just stick to the major pentatonic. But if you find yourself getting lost, then this is an easy system to be able to move up and down the neck. So I really do hope this helps. I hope that you work on moving these chords around, finding out where you play these different chords, and then all you have to do is remember the pattern that is associated with these chords. So I really do hope this helps, and as always, if you need something, just reach out to me. I'll be glad to help you.